Welcome to this final devotion related to the Heidelberg Catechism. We've been going at this since last July, almost a year. It would have been over a year, except I've taken the liberty of taking a few shortcuts over the past couple of weeks as we've combined some discussion related to the Lord's Prayer and to the Ten Commandments. So I apologize to the original framers and crafters of the Heidelberg Catechism for taking those shortcuts. If you've been around with me since last July when I started, bless you. I hope you found it somewhat rewarding, although I suspect most of us, if we're honest, we, me included, will admit that this was a little tedious at times. But see, we all need to be reminded from time to time what we believe. And we all need to have instructions as to how to live. With having a new house over the past 4 months or so, I have done a fair amount of work that required me to read a fair amount of instructions to do different things around the house. Literally on day one, I was putting up curtain rods and blinds at each window. As you might expect, those tasks were straightforward and therefore the instructions were fairly easy and straightforward. And now, just recently, I put up 2 storm doors. By the way, nothing goes smoothly for me when I do this kind of work. I don't have the natural smarts for it. I really have not done it enough to get smarter, which is important, by the way, and I really don't have all the right tools. So I rely heavily on instructions. Let me just say that the instructions for these storm doors weren't too bad. Sometimes, you get instructions for something that's in a detailed schematic that you can't really follow, and it's printed on the equivalent of a 3x5 card. So even if you could understand it, you can't read it because it's too small. But these instructions were step by step, and you could even watch videos on the installation of the storm doors on the internet. But even as good as the instructions were, they didn't tell me everything I needed to know. I needed more. You see, as I was putting up the last door, it wasn't too long before I had a hammer and a chisel out, chiseling away at part of the door frame because, of course, after I got the door up, the door didn't close at the top. I share that story, well, maybe to indicate how dumb I am, but because in a way, a catechism in general is similar to instructions. A catechism, in this case, similar to the Heidelberg, or specifically the Heidelberg Catechism, is a series of questions and answers about what we believe, instructions, if you will. When the Heidelberg Catechism came about back in the 1500s, it was particularly important. It was written during the Protestant Reformation, as people were known as Protestants were breaking off from the Roman Catholic Church for various reasons related to various different beliefs. And I'm not going to get bogged down into the various different beliefs that caused the many splits that occurred in the 1500s, causing many, let's just say, different denominations. But see, since Jesus didn't really leave us a theology as he left earth, what we believe needed to be determined as time progressed. And there were differences, and there continue to be differences. So for those that disagreed with the church at the time, it was important to document what they really did believe in, what made them different. Thus the writing of the Heidelberg Catechism. It was commissioned to document the beliefs of the Protestants and encourage them to live out their beliefs. And even for us today, we need to know what we believe. We need encouragement to know how to live. If we don't know what we believe, how can we really live out our faith? Even though this is the last devotion related to the Heidelberg Catechism, at least from me, there's more to learn as we continue to grow in our faith. So let me simply close this way with words from the Apostle Paul from the book of Colossians, chapter 1, verses 9 and 10. So we have not stopped praying for you, this is Paul's words, since we first heard about you. We ask God to give you complete knowledge of his will and to give you spiritual wisdom and understanding. Then the way you live will always honor and please the Lord, and your lives will produce every kind of good fruit. All the while, you will grow as you learn to know God better and better. This is my prayer for all of us. Amen.